how I can gain arena points as fast as possible so that way I can get to champs in time, or just champs in general. My name's Ken. I'm gonna help you out. Use code KenBeans if you like this video. Let's hop in. So here's some gameplay of me playing arena, and this is solos. And usually when I post videos about arena specifically, it's only gonna be solos. For most people, I would say that they have to do it kind of like me. Not everyone has tons of friends to play on the game with. This is how I personally find the most success trying to gain points as fast as possible. But first, I'm gonna tell you about the problem. I play solos a lot, and even in duos, honestly, when I play with Jiven, sometimes we just go on a losing streaks. Every time we drop out the bus, we lose like 40 points to the bus fare, and then we just die right off spawn. And then we go into the next game, die right off spawn. Now, the good thing about this season is that they changed it so now that everyone's on one arena server. So the queue times are super fast. When you die off spawn, you get frustrated, you get angry, and it ruins the vibe a little bit going into the next game. Makes you not want to play after a while of just dying. So when I'm in moments like this, I'm gonna tell you what I do. I just want to give a quick interruption to tell you that there's going to be timestamps on this video. If you want to see me talk about how I get one of my wins, that's going to be towards the end. I thought it would be interesting to share some knowledge about arena first before I go into exactly how I go about winning it. I found my most successful games that you're probably even watching right now. I land somewhere that isn't hot. Now, currently, by the time you're watching this, it's literally Mega City and Anvil and the Bastion. Those places have tons of people at them. No matter where the bus is in the game, people are always going there, no matter the game mode either. When I'm actually trying to gain points, I'll land somewhere else, just get guns and mats. The problem with going Mega City or places like Anvil, there's just no damn mats to farm. So you just have to 50-50 and grab someone's siphon, and chances are off spawn, you do that a bunch of times, you do that more than twice, there's a high chance that since you started a fight, there's just gonna be a third party rolling up and another third party. That's why it's really difficult to try and survive. But you know, the problem is, it's like when you play arena, you don't want to land somewhere so low key that there's no one coming with you, so you have no one to fight, and then by the time you get all your loot, there's like 20 players left, maybe 30 if you're lucky. So that's why I always say to not land hot, but sometimes I just land hot and try and gamble it. Oh, maybe I'll get a good gun and I'll survive the drop. I tell myself, oh, I'm gonna play super safe this game, and I just die off spawn again. I'm pretty sure everyone can relate to that. The literal fastest way is still to play trios though. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of playing trios. I think it's kind of boring, and I think it's almost a waste of time, which is the reason why I like to run solos more. Gaining arena points is definitely important, but I think it's more important to work on your fighting. Any sort of duo or trio game mode, you're never going to work on your fighting as good as you would in solos. One thing I want to mention is the best loadouts to run. Every time I play arena now, I barely even carry minis. I like splash and only splash, to be honest. Maybe shield fish to use. The quickest heals possible is usually what I'm going to hold. Minis is like the third option. Do yourself a favor, only hold 2 guns, and then just right now you want to hold some sort of movement, so it's like the kinetic blade. It can change in the future though. If there's no movement, hold 3 heals. That's the loadout you need to get used to, and which will save you the most because you're gonna have really good heals when you get into fights. Besides that, I'd say most important is just to know when to leave or start a fight. Lots of times off spawn, I'll have like so many people around me, or even when I'm fighting in the mid game, there will be like one guy that takes me a little longer to fight, and by the time we're both really shambles, a third party might roll up, so I'll look to like disengage. If I'm ever in arena with less than like 300 to 200 mats, that's usually the time I'm gonna look to disengage and try and find some way to leave so I can get my mats back up. Without mats in arena, it's gonna be the most grief thing ever. Now, one thing I want to mention as well is that if you're, you know, playing solo arena and you're not gaining a lot of points, you know that if you die off spawn, it's gonna be even worse because the amount of points you could get in solos is lower than trios, right? So that means one thing. You're gonna have to work on learning how to play really good peaks. What I've been doing recently in the past couple months even is I've been going into this Raider mech map and I've been doing the peak section. Even something simple like this, it helps you not take damage in fights, which is insanely useful. Anytime you're not taking damage in fights, that means that you're gonna have a way better chance at getting third partied and actually winning. Another tip I want to mention real quick is that when you play arena, right, and you're just fighting in the mid game like normal, you're running around, you're trying to find people. Let's say you get into a fight. Make sure that you block your damn angles. Every single time I'm fighting someone now, I'll instantly just turn around and create a quick box so that no one can come in on my back. I was watching one of my friends play arena and he was semi new to the game, like he was coming back to it, and he would always just take fights with no protection around him, and then he gets third partied, shot in the back, and and he wonders why. You're definitely going to gain a lot more points just by doing this one thing when you're in a fight. Okay, so we talked about where me personally, I find the most success landing on somewhere a little bit more low-key. We talked about the best loadouts. We talked about some box fighting tips. We know that trios is the fastest way to gain points. But in general, one of the ways that might hold you back in getting points is just your fighting skills. If you want a way to kind of develop your skills a little bit, I'm gonna leave a link to this video I just made where I talk about the routine that I've been using that's been helping me get better. Now, I don't know how much you guys actually will watch Fortnite, but something simple that might help you gain points or help you understand how arena fighting works a little more. Go into people's arena streams and just watch how they play. See what fights they choose and come up with a conclusion about why you think they would take this fight. So Contenders League is Division 7. That's the division right before you reach champs. So I would say that most of the people watching this are in Contenders League. If you're in Division 5, the bus fare is 30. If you're in Division 6, it's 40. And if you're in Division 7, that's 50. Every kill that you get is going to be worth 10 points. But when you reach Champions League, it goes down to 5. Not sure if you knew that. But in general, when you play Contenders, if you manage to get a top 25 each game, you're looking at 45 points. So that means if you are scared to take fights, if you wait till top 25, you'll never lose bus fare pretty much. Now, I know this is probably a little drone thing to think about, but I'm sure that there's tons of people on the game who really want to get to champs. So if you wait to fight, there won't be as much stress on you to actually not die. Also, here's another thing to think about real quick is that when you are getting towards the end of the game, like let's say you adopt that strategy that I just talked about and you wait till top 25 to try and fight someone, around that time in the game, no matter who you fight, when it's top 25 or less, if you find someone who's keying the whole lobby and like they're fighting you like crazy, chances are they're the one that wiped out majority of the lobby already. So if you can kill 1 or 2 guys who are pretty good, then it should be a really easy ride to finish out the game and get the win. In most arena lobbies, there's around 1 to 2, maybe 3 people around top 20 that are actually good. And then the rest of the people are the ones who are just hiding in bushes waiting for the points to go up. Side note, arena could be pretty frustrating. Trust me, I've been there with that and I play it almost every day. I'm the type of person who gets super heated right after I die, but then like 5 seconds later, I chill out. But sometimes if I get too mad, I'll literally just hop off and come back later and maybe go get food, brush my teeth, eat something, take a shower, for God's sake. Okay, so now the plan is to kind of walk you through one of the games I had just the other day where I got a win, and I thought it would be really useful to VOD review this one in particular, mainly because there was a lot of small things that I'll probably cover that you might not know or do yourself. For someone trying to gain arena points quickly, you're definitely going to need to know this. So it pretty much started out with me landing at a low-key drop like I talked about earlier in the video, and I got into a build fight with this guy, and I knew that I had a lot more mats than him, so I kind of initiated it. Luckily enough, I ended up hitting a max pump here pretty much, and it was a little bit of a bailout. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you get lucky like that. The SMG is my favorite thing to hold, and you're gonna see why right here. This just fries this guy. I mean, it is a gold. It's kind of to be expected, I guess. But then I get the quick mag reload in there. Nevertheless, I push up. I feel like this fight's pretty simple because all I do is just take his wall, I place a cone, and then I know I could just straight up 50-50 even with no SMG ammo because this guy's so weak. Going into this next fight, I'm going to show you this thing that I learned from Artos. It's where you kind of create a box and you go outside of it just like this and bait them to try and take a wall. Now, I missed the shot, but this play works a ton. And if you have someone who's really trying to key you, I would definitely try to do this. If you watch the beginning of the video, you know that I talked about the peak map. I hit this guy max damage from 1 box away with this purple pump, and I believe it's because of that map and because of my aim training. Then I just get on his wall and I get the kill because I just bait him to edit and I shoot him. Now, throughout this point, I'm trying to just find people to fight, and this is when this guy rolls up on me. In this spot right here, I kind of use this stair like a right-hand peek. I know that I'll have first shot. As long as I connect here, I won't die. I get into a fight with a third party as expected. He ends up smacking me around a decent amount, and I'm low on HP, but I initiate a box fight. Watch me how I set this up where I play the most beautiful, perfect angle I've ever played in my entire life. Just smack the wall, and I don't even try and grab it. I just bait him to make a right-hand peek just like this, and he can never see me. That's why he didn't even shoot. That's a tier 1 pro peek, I swear. Now, this entire time, there was a guy third partying with that mythic AR all the way on top of Mega City. So when this guy came over, I got a quick kill, and then I decided to push the guy all the way up top of here. You got to remember that when you're playing arena and there's people camping or like they're on some sort of really high building like this, chances chances are they're not really that good. Do you think a good player is just going to be sitting on top of a building trying to third-party fights? I doubt it. So I take this guy to a build fight, and even trash players, they know how to build up. So I hit him with this peek here. Little 40 tag makes him a little nervous. I go for a cone, tried to grab the wall, but I end up just trying to attack him from the top. So the guy drops down, and I'm just constantly trying to pressure his wall. If he makes an edit, I'm just going to quickly take out my shotgun. I see him moving inside this box, so I try to piece control another side. And then this is where the important part comes into play. When I take this cone and edit it, it's very likely that players who aren't that skilled are just going to run at you. So I just fake taking out my pickaxe so he thinks that he's going to have first shot, and I get a very easy kill. Simply put, when you fight players like that, you just got to understand that they're not very good. So they're probably going to go for the easiest play known to man, which is either to A, run at your face, or B, just try to edit on you when you have your builds out or your pickaxe out. So once again, this guy is weak, and you can see I'm just holding my pump out and I get the kill. Next up is a guy I decide to box fight, and I create a box around his box so that I don't get third-partied and sprayed in the back while I'm taking a wall. Now I'm going to let this play, and you're going to see I get cracked, and there's a guy literally jumping in my face. Pretty much, if this is going to happen to a lot of people, if you don't hit this edit first try, you're dead. That's something that I practice a lot, and just editing out the left of a stair like this, you have to get used to that side jump. I pop heals, I get third-partied, and then I remember I don't have a lot of mats, and there's another guy here third-partying, so I need to leave. I'm not looking to fight this guy because he has the mythic overclocked gun, and I'm just gonna die if he keeps shooting me. So I run away even though I wanted to fight that guy. I get my mats up, I get my heals up, and I take another fight. And here you're watching a really good example of a box fight where this guy thinks he's being really good and he's sitting behind this wall, but it's made out of wood. I have a gold SMG. Before this guy would even be able to get to the apex of his jump, I would claim the wall right in front of his face and just make a quick edit and get a quick shot. So that's what I did, and I tried to go run after the loot because the kill got stolen, but I get lucky and I end up killing this guy on low ground here. So now I'm in the end game, right? There's 2 players alive. First off, I know I have so much mats, and I'm 1v1 in this guy, and I know that he's not the greatest just by watching him fight and where he is on this zone. It's safe to assume that when he saw me placing those ramps to go grab height, that he was gonna crank non-stop until he had it. So I just quick sprayed him out and then grab height from there. Now I have it very secure. I'm taking my time. I'm using my mats just to get ahead and just figure out like what he's doing, because I know I'm probably gonna be able to get a shot on him. Nevertheless, I'm playing slow because I know that he's gonna try and run at my face. I'm jumping around stuff to try and get good angles to shoot him, and then so we clutched up. And remember, if you learned something, use code KenBeans, and I'll see you in the next vid. Peace.